First child of many families across most of African traditions signifies strength. A first son immediately becomes the pride of any father and the joyful validation of his mother. My Yoruba people call him the Arole, but I'm not here to bore you with social cultural anthropology. Although I thought deeply and I found a striking similitude between the Arole and Nigeria's place on the African continent. But by no means am I suggesting that Nigeria is the first child of Mother Africa, because by metric of independence, that will be disregarding over 15 other African nations that have lived democratically before Nigeria's independence. However, I could make the littlest effort in trying to convince you of our significance, not only as the most populous nation on the continent, but economically, in the foreign policy influence that the country has had in shaping Africa, and most importantly, by the strength and dexterity that we embody as a people, both at home and abroad, across every thinkable and sometimes unthinkable spheres. But I bring you message, Nigeria. It is a message of courage, a message of hope for Africa. Because if Africa must rise, the people of Nigeria must see the need. To be giant of Africa is not simply a state of being, but an action word, a call to leadership and a responsibility because leadership has a lot to do with courage. To act with courage is to have concrete hope in a better future that is backed by works and actions. So I encourage my dear people of Nigeria to continue to embody the spectacular acts of courage that we have always shown more than we have done in the past. I call on Nigerian youth to prove that Sorosoke was not just a nice, witty thing to say, but a commandment to always speak loudly, even in the face of madness. Or have we been bullied back into silence? I call on politicians to talk less about God and act more like God will want them to. I challenge you listening that when you go out to vote in the symbolism of our democracy, that you actually choose people that you truly believe in. And this, in the words of former President Professor Yemi Oshibajo, is the hallmark of a person that truly wishes this country well. Our continent cannot rise or continue to ride on deception. And for the sake of emphasis, it must begin with Nigeria. As a people, we need truth. We must refuse to be desensitized. We must refuse the collective amnesia and learned helplessness that has crept into our clothes like soldier ants, slowly disgracing us in the market. Because what we do when we stand against injustices in all its form and we reject the lucrativeness of politics by holding our leaders accountable for good governance, what we do when we innovate and create African solutions to solve global problems, what we do when we pursue excellence in our craft that gets us in the global limelight, is that we set a precedent, a tone for the rest of Africa to follow and echo vigorously. We may walk slowly towards it, but we will surely be on our way to progress this time. If we get it right, Africa will get it right. Remember that courage is an act of hope, and hope is born of courage. Acts of courage creates hope, and there's nothing more essential to the human spirit than hope. So here is to courage Nigeria, and here is to hope Africa. Here is a time when this nation must stand up and fight for its destiny or be prepared to die. But I ask on behalf of over 600 million young people in Africa that you, Nigeria, will make the right choice. Thank you.